you're painting your kitchen cabinets, choosing the right primer is one of the most important decisions you'll make. The wrong primer can cause peeling, bleed through, and just give you a soft finish that won't last. In this video, I'll break down my picks for the best primers for DIYers painting their kitchen cabinets, including what works, what to avoid, and my overall pick for the primer that provides the best balance of durability and ease of use. If you want your cabinets to turn out amazing, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more pro painting tips just like this. Over the years, I've painted hundreds of sets of kitchen cabinets, and I've primed with everything from shellacs to oils to hybrids and waters. And each one has their own pros and cons, and each one can be right for different situations. But overall, there is one primer that I think is the best overall primer for DIYers due to its durability and ease of use. First, we have shellac-based primers, and shellac-based primers are truly the king of primers. They have unmatched stain blocking. If you are painting oak cabinets, they will completely seal in those tannins, and you will not have any tannic acid coming through to that final coat when you go to spray on whatever you spray. Even if you spray a water, which usually causes that tannic acid to bleed through to the surface, that shellac-based primer will seal in all the tannic acids. Also, shellac-based primers are great for adhesion. Even if you don't sand or clean your cabinets very well, shellac-based primers will still bond to that old finish and give you a great surface for putting on your new finish. Lastly, shellac-based primers are extremely fast drying. So if you're in a production environment or you need to get your job done quick for whatever the reason may be, shellac-based primers can dry in about 15 to 30 minutes, and you can put on multiple coats, get onto your top coat in the same day. They just really speed up the whole process. But the catch with shellac-based primers is that they are horrible for you and horrible for the environment. They have extremely high VOC content, about 700 grams per liter, which is extremely high. That means that when you're spraying, you're not only going to want to wear a cartridge mask, you're going to want eye protection. You don't want those fumes coming in through your eyes. You're going to want to block off your ears. I wear earplugs when I spray with shellac, and wear an entire bodysuit. Second, you're going to want to ventilate the area. You're going to want to get a fan and tubing to make sure that you don't have any of that fume buildup in the area you're spraying. If you're working for a client, if you happen to be doing this professionally, it's going to absolutely stink them out of the house, and you have to address that before you spray your shellac. Along with that, shellacs are difficult to clean up. You need to be cleaning up with denatured alcohol. You cannot take them to the sink and clean them out there. And denatured alcohol actually has a higher VOC content than the shellac, so you're still dealing with that problem. And lastly, right along with all this, is you just can't dump shellac or denatured alcohol down the drain in the backyard or anything like that. You need to dispose of all of your waste, your rags, anything you use there properly, whatever's proper in your state and your area, and it's just not easy to get rid of. So there's a lot of catches to using shellac, not to mention the extra cost of denatured alcohol. So for that reason, because I'm spraying cabinets every single week, I avoid shellacs pretty much at all costs, unless it's an extreme situation. I prefer to use different products to protect my health and not deal with shellacs pretty much for the most part, even though they are great at priming. The verdict is that shellac-based primers are great for the professional who has the proper equipment and protection, but for DIYers, there's better products out there. Next, we have oil-based primers. And oil-based primers are basically, in my opinion, just a little step down from shellac-based primers in almost every way. So first of all, they're great at adhesion, not quite as good as shellac, but they will bond to nearly any surface, clean, sanded, non-sanded. If you don't do a good job prepping, oils are going to do a pretty good job still bonding. Next, they're also really good at blocking stains and tannins. You will get occasional bleed through an oil-based primer, but for the most part, they are very good. Again, just a little step down from those shellac primers. But oil-based primers are not going to dry nearly as fast as shellac-based primers. In fact, they may dry to the touch within an hour or two, but they need to cure out longer. So oil-based primers don't really work good for production-based painting. They also have a very high VOC content in that 400 to 500 grams per liter. And they also require special cleanup, just like the shellac-based ones. With an oil-based primer, you're gonna have to clean up with paint thinner, mineral spirits, which is another high VOC product, and you're gonna have to dispose of that properly. So, oil-based primers, pretty much everything I said about shellacs holds true for them. You're gonna wanna ventilate, you need to clean up special, they have high VOCs, you're gonna have to protect yourself. But they do a very good job at priming with their durability, their adhesion, and their stain blocking. So the verdict on oil-based primers is that they're not great for the professional because they are not great at production, and they're not great for the DIYer because of all the downsides to them. So oil-based primers for me, usually a no-go. Next, we have water-based primers. And again, there are pros and cons to water-based primers. Water-based are going to be a lower VOC product, usually in that 50 grams per liter, sometimes even lower, which puts them about on par with wall paint. They also are going to clean up incredibly easy. Just bring them over to your laundry tub and clean up with warm water. Water-based primers also dry fast, usually within 1 to 2 hours, as long as your humidity is low and your temperature is warm. But on the flip side of all this is that water-based primers are going to have weaker adhesion. They do not bond to surfaces nearly as well as oils or shellacs, and they're going to have weaker stain blocking capabilities, which means if you prime oak doors, those tannic acids are going to bleed right through to the surface, and you're going to have a big problem with tannic acids, oil stains, or any other stains bleeding through those water-based primers. Third, water-based primers tend to be a little bit soft and can leave your finish soft and susceptible to scratching very easily down the road. So when would you use water-based primers? In my opinion, water-based primers are great for already painted cabinets. So if you have cabinets where you're going to change the color or they came with a factory finish, all you need to do is scuff up that finish, lay down a coat of water-based primer, and you're good to go. It's a perfect time to use a water-based primer. But the final verdict on water-based primers is that they just aren't going to provide all the value you need in a primer. They're not going to be durable enough, they're not going to block stains enough, and they're not going to bond as well as you need. So, what does that mean you should use when you're priming kitchen cabinets? Well, my personal favorite is hybrid primers. Hybrid primers offer the perfect balance of durability, stain blocking, adhesion, along with ease of use such as cleanup and low VOCs. Hybrid primers are going to have low VOCs, usually in that 50 grams per liter or less. You can also clean up hybrid primers with water, so that means take all of your tools right on down to that laundry tub for cleanup. They have great adhesion. They can bond to previously painted surfaces or unpainted surfaces. They block most stains. They will block oils really well in my experience, and tannic acid, very good most of the time. But I'm going to address that in just a second. They're fast drying. They're usually ready to recoat in 1 to 2 hours. And my favorite part is that hybrid primers are flexible without being brittle or soft. So a water-based primer can be too soft where you can scratch it, and a shellac and oil-based primer can be too hard where they can become brittle over time. A hybrid primer is going to be flexible but still very durable, giving you the best of both worlds. So the one thing I brought up that is a downside with hybrid primers is that they block most stains. I didn't say all stains like shellacs and oils, but most stains. So what I do when I use hybrid primers is that after priming, I go through and look at everything that I just primed and look for any stains that have bled through. And I take a can of Kills original oil-based primer, just a spray can where you shake and spray, and you can get that anywhere. You can also buy shellac-based cans too. And I just hit a couple of the spots that bled through. Typically on an oak kitchen, I'll get anywhere from 3 to 10 little spots, and it takes me about 2 minutes to go through. So I am still using an oil-based primer or a shellac-based primer, but it's just a tiny little bit of it. And I can take that can and usually get 2 to 3 kitchens out of it instead of using gallons of shellac or gallons of oil. So what are some hybrid primers that I would recommend? Well, one of my absolute favorites is Extreme Bond Primer from Sherwin-Williams. This is a urethane modified acrylic, and it's incredibly good at bonding. It's great at stain blocking. It doesn't smell bad, and it cleans up with water, like I said, and you just find it at Sherwin-Williams, which is pretty much everywhere. Another hybrid primer that I love is Shellac Sticks. This is Shellac cabinet coat, the top coat, but they also have one that looks very similar to this called Sticks, and it's another hybrid, another urethane modified acrylic, and it's a wonderful primer. You can find that anywhere that sells Benjamin Moore based products, and you can find it online. I'll put a link in the description. And lastly, another one I've always enjoyed is Zinsser Smart Prime. Smart Prime isn't quite as good at blocking stains as some of these other ones, but it is incredibly easy to use. You will just have to go around with that spray can if you have any stains bleeding through. So the final verdict for DIYers priming their kitchen cabinets: go with a hybrid base primer. You get 90% of the performance without any of the downsides of shellacs or oil-based primers. With a hybrid, you get good stain blocking, great adhesion, excellent long-term durability, easy cleanup, and my personal favorite, they're easy on your body since they have low VOCs. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more videos just like this. For the primers that I talked about in this video, I have them all linked in the description below. And if you need any painting supplies, make sure to check out DIYpaintingsupply.com. Last, if you have any questions about your kitchen cabinet project, leave them in the comments below. I tried to answer everything I can. Until next time, good luck on your DIY painting project.